Mental illness impacts athletes on all levels. And one of the most at-risk groups are athletes at college, students who feel immense pressure as they navigate their new independent lives on campus. Now think about it. This is the first time most of these kids have lived on their own. They're away by themselves. So you've got the pressure of adapting to the college environment, the stress and pressure of college, having to discipline yourself, the social challenges of making new friends. And then you add the expectations when you are an athlete, particularly at the college level. And let's look at just what the odds of that are. We'll look first at male and then at female. If you're a high school athlete playing in college, the odds of boys playing high school baseball are 8-1. Making an NCAA roster is 43-1. And then you look at it for females, it's the same ratio. You know, softball in high school 10-1, NCAA 51-1. Not very many make it is the point. They are elite, which means they have discipline, they've worked hard, they've really excelled, and people look at them with expectations and they look at themselves with expectations, right? And when something happens, particularly if they can't control, like an injury, then it really disrupts their world. They can't control it, and that's frustrating. Now, Bridget and Scott say that Sarah was unable to be the student that she wanted to be. Why do you think that really landed on her heavily?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's in her own mind. It's her expectations, and she always wanted to do as much as she could. School didn't come easy, so she had to work hard. And I think at times she felt she had to sacrifice some of her academics, and that wasn't easy for her.
How did she show that pressure? What did she say to herself about it?
We talked to her regularly, and she was pretty open about the anxiety that she was feeling in college and trying to balance. You know, she was a 3-sport athlete and balanced that with a full academic load and traveling almost every other weekend. So she was pretty vocal to us about the anxiety that she felt with all of that.
I don't think we ever really knew the extreme to what it was impacting her, but we knew she was battling some anxiety with it.
Arlena, she had 2 involvements with cheerleading, and I bet if you polled 100 people in her world and said, who do you think would be most vulnerable to this sort of thing, she would probably have been number 99 or 100 on the list, because she was the one people looked up to, aspired to be, which is also a burden.
Yes, she was always smiling, she was always happy, and I think that's what upset our world, because we weren't expecting this, not Arlena.
I know you went through shock. I know you went through and are going through such sadness and grief. Is there a point at which you went through frustration and anger at them making this choice?
Yes, we're human. We were all hurt. We all just lost our babies.
But I don't believe it was a choice.
Yeah.
And that took me a little bit of time to keep repeating that. I'd go down the road of saying, you know, I'm angry at you. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I wouldn't be angry at her if she had something that an ailment that you could see.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least detect cancer, heart disease.
Yeah.
You would never be angry at them for that.
You can't see somebody hurt internally. You can externally, but not internally.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.